Hi class, I hope you all had a nice weekend and today we will cover Unit 8. So let's turn to page 96. Unit 8, work. Before you listen, look at the picture. What do you see? I see a auto repair shop. He looks like he's a mechanic. He's working on a car. He's fixing a car. His name is Leo. It's short for Leonardo. Or Leonard. English usually call it Leonard instead of Leonardo. Different way of same spelling, but usually call it Leonard. Short for Leo. And also another slang term for mechanic, auto mechanic, is grease monkey. And here's an office. She has an office job. Here's a desk. There's a chair. There's a plant. There's a computer monitor. There's a keyboard. Together, you could call it a computer. There's an Eduardo. He looks like a server. He's working at a dining room, a restaurant. Here are these customers. He's taking the order from the customers. He's a server. So for a male server, you could call it waiter. For a female server, you can call it a waitress. But together it's a server because they serve food. And you call them waiter and waitress because they wait on you. Here's a checkout register. Also, this register is modern, so it has a computer monitor and a keyboard. She's a cashier, or you could call it a checkout clerk. Her name is Lucy. Here are the cards. There's a mommy and a daughter. And here's a person who cleans the floor. There's a sign that says caution, wet floor. So you call this person a custodian. There's another name for it, janitor or maintenance. They're all the same thing. But I think janitor is kind of demeaning term. So I think it's better to call these people maintenance or a custodian. And let me play you the tape or the track.
Unit 8, work. Page 96. Lesson A, exercise 1B. Cashier.
Custodian.
Mechanic.
Receptionist.
Salesperson.
Server.
So Sarah down here, I guess she's a salesperson. She tries to sell stuff like clothing, whatever. I guess it's a clothing she's selling. So she's a clothes sales. She is in clothes sales, so she's a salesperson or sales clerk. And receptionist, probably I don't really see a receptionist here. There's a checkout. Receptionist usually is in front of the entrance, and they usually just answer the phones and they direct customers where to go. That's pretty much it. Receptionist is kind of like a secretary, but secretary does more work. Like secretary has to draft letters, make appointments, whatever your boss kind of tells you to do. You do all those little like menial work. On the other hand, receptionists, they're usually towards the front entrance, and they only like answers the call, transfers the call, and then they direct the customers where to go. It's much simpler than secretary. So let's turn to next page, 97. Okay, listen and repeat. So it's the same thing, just we did. And so we'll do part B. So you can listen and circle.
Page 97. Lesson A. Exercise 2B. 1. What does he do?
He's a server.
2. What does she do?
She's a receptionist.
3. What's his job?
He's a custodian.
4. What's her job?
She's a mechanic.
Okay, so number 1, he's an auto mechanic. Number B, he's a server or a waiter. He waits on table. He fixes cars. And number 2, she's a receptionist. She answers calls. B, she is what does she look like? A salesperson maybe? Number 3, what does it look like? A salesperson? A sales clerk? Maybe she's trying to sell something? A store clerk? Number B, he's cleaning, so he's a custodian. He's a janitor. Or he's a maintenance. He's a maintenance guy. He is in maintenance. And usually, if there's a person like this for the whole apartment, entire apartment, you call a superintendent, or just super for short. He takes care of like cleaning, fixing the whole entire apartment. And number 4, she's a auto mechanic. She fixes cars. So page 98. Job duties. Vocabulary focus. Listen and repeat.
Page 98. Lesson B. Exercise 1. 1. She answers the phone. 2.
She counts money.
3. He fixes cars. 4.
He cleans buildings.
5. She sells clothes. 6.
He serves food.
Okay, so she answers the phone. She's a receptionist. But if she does more than just answering the phones, then she could be a secretary. A secretary does copying, making files, drafting letters, running errands for the boss, a lot more stuff. And here's a cashier. She's counting money. She takes the money in and she gives the change back. So this machine is now called the old machine. This looks like a cash register. Now he's a mechanic. He's working on the car. Another term for mechanic, auto mechanic, is grease monkeys, because grease is like oil. So you're like a monkey, grease monkey. You have grease all over your body. Custodian, there's a vacuum. He's vacuuming. Custodian, same as again janitor, maintenance. Or like a superintendent, short for super. Now she sells clothes, so she's a salesperson or sales clerk. So salesperson is everywhere. At an auto shop, there's a car salesperson, there's a furniture salesperson, many places. And he serves food. So he's a waiter or a server. If it's a girl, it's called waitress. Now 2, practice. Read and match. 1, receptionist. Answers the phone. 2, salesperson. Sells clothes. 3, cashier. Counts money. Server. Serves food. Custodian. Cleans buildings. Mechanic. Fixes cars. So, a lot of times you just have to add ER, like cashier. Or number 4, server. Cash is money, so this is not really a verb, but this is a good example. Server. Serve, that's a verb, and you add ER. Since it ends with E, when it's spelled serve, all you need to do is add R. Server. Now it becomes a person or a thing. It actually performs that function. Same thing. You wait on people. That's why it's called waiter for male, waitress for female. But also you could see many other forms. If it could be IST, also a person or a thing, ist. Custodian, IAN, also a person. So these are another different forms. So for IST example, florist, pianist, like it's a lot of instruments, violinist, ends with IST. ER is like most common. ER, teacher. ER. Now I'm trying to think of it. Let's see. Let's look it up. Okay. Let's do verbs with verbs that ends verbs. Babysitter. Babysitter. I can't find it right now. It's not giving me a good example. Report, reporter. Babysit. So babysitter. What else? Run, runner. So ER is the most common form. Sometimes instead of E, you could take the other vowels, like A, we have the E, so I, O, U. A-E-I-O-U. So instruct, instructor, it's O. Now, professor, that's also O. You stir, you put some sugar in stir, so stirrer, that's I-R, stirrer. But the most common letter will be E. And IAN, that's like Canadian, Colombian, Australian, Georgian. Georgian is people from Georgia, the state. So if you see IAN, Asian, Caucasian, it also means people or person. So let's go to page 99. Listen and repeat, then write.
Page 99. Lesson B. Exercise 2B. 1.
What does Sandra do?
She counts money.
2. What does Stephanie do?
She serves food.
3. What does Elba do?
She answers the phone.
4. What does Oscar do?
He sells clothes.
5. What does Tim do?
He cleans buildings.
6. What does Ahmad do?
He fixes cars.
So here's the answers. And practice this conversation with somebody in your household. What does Sandra do? She counts money. So you see this useful language? When people ask you, what do you do? Usually means, what's your job? Because what do you do every day? That's what it means. Something you do repeatedly, repetitiously. So basically, it means your job. So same thing as what do you do equals what's your job. Also same as what's your occupation? Or what do you do for living? All the same questions. And for this one, she serves food. Serve, that's a verb. We put R, that's why it's a server. So you could say she waits on customers. She waits. Waiter, waitress. That's why you could say she waits on table or she waits on customers. Same thing. Let's turn to page 100. Does he sell clothes? Okay, grammar focus. Does and doesn't. Questions. Does he sell clothes? Does she sell clothes? We have to use does because he and she is a third person singular. The answers, yes, he does. Yes, she does. So the original form is do, D-O. To make it a third person singular form, you have to add es because usually when it ends with O, you have to add es, like do and does. Go, goes. The answer, no, he doesn't. No, she doesn't. This is a shortened form. Doesn't equals does not. So whatever you're missing, you put apostrophe. D-O-E-S-N. You're not going to write O. So in place of O, you're going to write the apostrophe, auntie. I know it's not much short, only one letter, and you replace it with an apostrophe. But yeah, we have a lot of these shortened forms, abbreviated forms. So let's do practice. Read and circle, then write. A, does he serve food? No, he doesn't. 2, does he clean buildings? No, he doesn't. To me, he looks like he's either a customer or he could be a stock person. Stock person is a person who stocks items at the store. That's his job. If something's out, he goes to the back room, brings it out, and he stock it. So the other customers could buy it. So maybe he's a stock person. And maybe he's a sales clerk. Maybe he's trying to sell the TV at an electronics store, like what is it, Fry's? 3, does she answer the phone? Yes, she does. Yes, she's answering the phone. So she could be, looks like she could be a receptionist or she could be a secretary, hard to tell. 4, does he sell clothes? Yes, he does. He's a sales clerk or he's a salesperson. If he makes clothes, then he's going to be a tailor. If he's making clothes for him, he's a tailor. Does she fix cars? No, she doesn't. I think she fixes refrigerators. She fixes refrigerators, maybe. So play the track.
Page 100, Lesson C. Exercise 2A. 1.
Does he serve food?
No, he doesn't.
2. Does he clean buildings?
Yes, he does.
3. Does she answer the phone?
Yes, she does.
4. Does he sell clothes?
Yes, he does.
5. Does she fix cars?
No, she doesn't.